We have mentioned before having this be an inheritance relationship. Welcome back. We are going to go through all of these relationships starting with inheritance. So let's do that. So remember, if you remember, we talked about inheritance. There is an arrow that goes from the child class to the parent class, and it is the child class points to the parent class. And so since customer is going to inherit everything from user and so is employee, we are just going to drag the arrow. And we're going to do it this way, actually. We're going to point it up to the user class. We're going to go then edit that arrow and make it have that white arrow, and we'll make it a little bit bigger too. There we go. And then you can edit these lines as well. And we're just going to do the same thing for this class. Essentially, we have an employee that points to user and a customer that points to user. All right, so we have our inheritance relationship shown, and there are no multiplicities that go with inheritance, so that is pretty much finished. Now let's talk about aggregation. So aggregation relationships are going to be when you can really see them when we have a attribute that is contained within our class. Okay, so this is going to be an aggregation relationship, and I'm going to drag this arrow over here. And it doesn't really matter where you set these here. Remember that an aggregation relationship is going to have the white diamond. So there we go. So we're adding our aggregation arrows. So every container class is going to have that aggregation relationship with the class that it has the container of objects for. And I should mention too that in this course you should know what composition is, but we're not going to use it in our diagrams. We're just going to use aggregation, since composition is just a specialized form of aggregation, to keep it simple. Okay, so we have beverage. There's a list. Beverages is a container class for, or beverage list is a container class for beverages, so I'm going to have that same relationship here. Great. Beverage has a category contained within it, so I'm going to make this an aggregation relationship too. Again, if you were going to be more specific, you might think through whether this would be composition or aggregation, but we're not going to think through that right now. We're just going to make everything aggregation that is either. So I'm going to, nutrition facts also belongs in beverage, so I'm going to create an arrow over here. Whoops. All right. So beverage has nutrition facts, beverage has a category, beverage list has beverages, user list has users. All right, we have a bunch of aggregation here. Customer has payment information. So I'm going to pull that over here. And actually, yeah, that's payment information in customer. Perfect. Okay. All right, user interface. Now this is going to be a special type of relationship. This is actually going to be the association relationship. So we've added all of the rest of our classes seem to have the correct relationships going on. We're just missing relationships for our user interface and layout. And actually, real quick, notice that a user interface has layouts, so we do still need to have that relationship. Whoops. We still need to have that relationship demonstrated here. There we go. Now for the rest of the classes, the user interface is actually going to be an association relationship, and we'll talk about that in the next video.